Most people think they already know Jacksonville. That's exactly why they miss what's actually happening here. While everyone's stuck on the beaches, subdivisions, and traffic jokes, entire pockets of the city are shifting before anyone thinks to look there. It's the same city where Saturday morning means Riverside Arts Market and weekday afternoons mean the St. Johns River looks calm even when life isn't. No billboards, no hype machine, just real change happening under the radar. I'm talking lagoon living that feels like vacation on a random Tuesday, oceanfront spots where you can actually hear yourself think, and even a neighborhood built around a working farm. And no, that's not a brochure fantasy. And here's what nobody tells you. Some of these places are exactly where people wish they started after they realized they picked Jacksonville for the right reasons, but the wrong area. It happens all the time. So the real question is this: are you choosing Jacksonville for what you think it is or for what it's becoming? If you told someone a few years ago that Jacksonville was getting a lagoon community, most people would not have believed it. But Diamond Springs is exactly that. This is the first lagoon-centered master plan community in the city of Jacksonville, and it brings a completely different lifestyle to the area. Let's be clear about what this is and what it is not. This is not a luxury custom home neighborhood. You're not getting estate lots or boutique architecture. The builders here include Lennar, Dreamfinders, D.R. Horton, and DRB Homes. These are well-known production builders, which means efficient floor plans, modern finishes, and practical layouts designed for everyday living. Not ultra custom, not over the top, just solid new construction that works for real families. Plans call for roughly 2,700 homes once the community is fully built out, with a mix of single-family homes and townhomes. Pricing typically starts in the 300s, depending on the builder and the phase. That matters because it makes lagoon living accessible to people who want strong amenities without stepping into luxury price ranges. Now, let's talk about the centerpiece. The lagoon is not just a decorative pond. It is the heart of the community, a multi-acre crystal clear lagoon designed for swimming, kayaking, splash features, and resort-style energy. That changes how weekends look. Instead of planning a full-on beach day, it becomes as simple as walking down the street to the lagoon. Summer afternoons feel active and social. Kids are in the water, paddle boarders are out, neighbors actually outside instead of staying behind garage doors. It creates that vacation-style atmosphere while still being right here in Jacksonville. Around the lagoon, you'll find walking and bike trails, an amenity center, solar-powered streetlights, and high-speed ultra Wi-Fi internet throughout the neighborhood. It is modern, master planned, and intentionally built around your lifestyle. At the same time, this is still a suburban community. There is no built-in commercial district, no coffee shop downstairs, no mixed-use town center. You will drive for groceries, restaurants, and retail. That's the trade-off. You get new construction and resort-style amenities in exchange for being car-dependent like most of Jacksonville. So who is this really for? Diamond Springs makes sense for people who want more than a basic subdivision, but are not looking for a luxury estate community. It works well for young families who want built-in amenities and a social environment. It also fits those relocating who want something exciting and new, but still practical and attainable. It probably does not fit someone looking for custom architecture, oversized lots, or walk everywhere urban lifestyle. Diamond Springs represents Jacksonville introducing a new amenity-driven concept while keeping it accessible and realistic. For the right person, that combination is exactly what makes it stand out. And hey, if you're watching this thinking, okay, this actually feels like something we could see ourselves in, that is exactly why I make these videos. My name is Andrew Michael, a local Jacksonville realtor, and my real estate team and I help people every single day figure out which community truly fits their lifestyle, whether you're moving across town or relocating from out of state. We're here to help you answer questions, give you honest insight, and help you make a smart decision, but without the pressure. So if Diamond Springs caught your attention, or if you're just trying to narrow things down, you can reach out to us. Call, text, email, whatever's easiest for you. We would love to connect and help you figure out what makes the most sense for you. Now let's shift gears completely. If Diamond Springs represents amenity-driven suburban living, Colonial Villano moves the conversation straight to the coast. Located in Villano Beach near St. Augustine, Colonia is being introduced as oceanfront and ocean view mixed-use community designed to elevate and transcend Volano Beach living. This is oceanfront luxury living, and when you look at the details, you can see why. Private beach access walkover, a pool and lounge area with a cabana, a central courtyard designed to create gathering space within the community itself. The project also includes retail and office space along with restaurants and shopping integrated into the development, which adds another layer to the experience. It is not just a standalone condo building. It is intended to feel like a vibrant coastal community setting. The residences themselves reflect the luxury positioning. High-end finishes such as Thermador appliances, quartz countertops, and elevated interior design details are part of the offering. The architecture and layout lean into views and coastal aesthetics rather than traditional suburban form. And then there's the location. Volano Beach sits between the Atlantic Ocean and the Intracoastal Waterway, just outside historic St. Augustine. That gives Colonia a distinct coastal identity. You are not in a master-planned inland neighborhood. You are in a beach environment and water defining the surroundings. This is a very different rhythm from what we just talked about. Instead of yards and garages, it's balconies and ocean views. Instead of trails winding through subdivisions, it is beach access and coastal streets. The energy is vertical, curated, and design-focused rather than spread out and suburban. For some people, that feels like exactly the right next step. But for others, it may feel like a dramatic shift from a traditional neighborhood living. It likely resonates with those drawn into oceanfront living, elevated finishes, in a mixed-use coastal setting. It may not appeal to someone looking for a large yard, a traditional single-family layout, or quieter inland environment. Colonia Volano is not trying to compete with suburban Jacksonville communities. It's carving out a luxury coastal lane on the First Coast. And that contrast between this and Diamond Springs highlights something important. Jacksonville and the surrounding First Coast region are not growing in just one direction. The options are expanding in completely different ways. And the next community takes that idea even further in a direction most people don't really expect. Before we even talk about this specific project, let's define something. An agrihood is short for agricultural neighborhood. It is a type of master plan community built around working farmland or agriculture as a central feature. Instead of homes surrounding a golf course or a clubhouse, the agricultural component becomes the organizing focus. That can mean preserved farmland, community-supported agriculture, educational farming programs, open green space, and trails integrated around productive land. In simple terms, it is suburban growth built around land and food production instead of just rooftops. Now here is where the idea shows up locally. The agrihood being proposed in St. Johns County is a large-scale master plan development located off of County Road 214 west of I-95 near the St. Augustine Premier Outlets. Plans call for roughly 2,600 to 2,700 acres to be developed over multiple phases, with up to 3,300 residential units proposed, along with commercial space and preserved agricultural areas. And the word proposed is what matters. This is not a finished neighborhood. It is not move-in ready. It is a long-term, multi-phase vision that would take years to unfold. But that is exactly why it is worth paying attention to. At the center of the plan is a true agricultural core, not decorative landscaping, not farm-themed buildings. That proposal includes working farmland, preserved green space, and trails woven directly into the layout of the community. The land itself has been owned by Robinson Improvement Company for generations and has a long history of timber management. That legacy adds weight to the vision. This is not a quick flip. This is a long-term land strategy. If approved and built as outlined, the development would include a mix of single-family homes, townhomes, and age-restricted residences, along with commercial space intended to support daily needs within the community. The scale alone makes it significant. Over 3,000 homes across thousands of acres change how this corridor grows. But again, this will take time. Large master plan communities like this are phased over many years. Infrastructure, utilities, roads, and construction all happen in stages. This is not about what St. Johns County looks like next year. This is about what it may look like a decade from now. And so why does that matter? Because projects like this signal how growth is being approached in the region. Instead of simply stacking rooftops, this concept attempts to integrate land preservation and agriculture into suburban expansion. Whether someone loves the idea or remains cautious, it represents a shift in how large-scale development is being discussed. For some people, the idea of living in a community built around open land and working agriculture feels intentional and forward-thinking. But for others, the timeline and scale may feel too uncertain or too far out. And guess what? Both are okay. The agrihood is not about immediate lifestyle changes. It is about long-term regional direction. It shows that growth in St. Johns County is not slowing down, but it may be evolving in how it is structured. So now I'm curious, have you ever lived or heard of an agrihood before? Or is this the first time you're hearing about that term? Drop a comment and let me know what you think about the concept. Now let's bring this back to Jacksonville. EverRange is a neutral master plan community coming to Jacksonville in Duval County. Positioned near US 1 and Phillips Highway, it is still in the early stages and just starting to sell homes. The vision behind it is worth understanding because it shows a different direction for growth inside the city. EverRange is being developed by the Park Group, the team behind communities like Nocatee, E-Town, and Pablo Creek Reserve. That track record signals experience with large-scale, amenity-driven planning. The housing mix will include single-family homes, townhomes, and a dedicated 55-plus active adult community built by Toll Brothers. That combination matters. This is not just a family neighborhood. It is not just a retirement enclave. It is designed as a multi-generational environment. Now let's talk about lifestyle. One of the strongest pillars of EverRange is nature integration. The plan calls for approximately half the land to remain preserved. You got trails, lakes, and natural Florida landscape are woven into the design of the community. Instead of maximizing rooftops, the emphasis appears to be on preserving open space and building around it. There is also a planned resident amenities center that includes a clubhouse, resort-style pool, fitness center, gathering spaces, and event areas. The goal seems to be creating opportunities for connection without forcing density. Another major differentiator is the planned village-style town center. The vision includes retail, dining, and everyday conveniences within the community. It is important to note that this is planned, not currently built, but it signals an intention to reduce the need to leave the neighborhood for basic services. For families considering the area, EverRange is located within a reach of a variety of educational options. In addition to the Duval County Public Schools, there are private, charter, and magnet school opportunities nearby. These include tuition-free public charter options as well. Private schools often offering faith-based education, STEM-focused program, arts integration, and alternative learning models. The variety gives families flexibility depending on what matters most to them. As always, school zoning and enrollment availability should be verified directly. EverRange feels positioned for people who want new construction inside of Jacksonville, but also value preserved land and thoughtful design. It may appeal to those who want access to nature without moving far outside the city. It may also resonate with people who like the idea of a future town center and built-in amenities, but prefer to stay in Duval County rather than cross into St. Johns. At the same time, this is still early stage development. For those who want something established and fully built out today, this will feel too soon. EverRange represents Jacksonville leaning into nature, planning, and multi-generational living all at once. Most communities add houses first and figure everything else out later. The Garden District, though, that flips that order completely. This is the moment Wildlight stops behaving like a master plan community and starts behaving like a town, not in theory, but in structure, in scale, and how daily life is meant to function when this is fully built out. Here's the scope, because it matters. Wildlight spans roughly 4,700 acres, and about 2,000 of those acres are permanently set aside for conservation. That's not window dressing. That's the backbone. Woven through it is a 19-mile trail network that connects neighborhoods, parks, and natural corridors instead of dead-ending into sidewalks. You don't just live near nature here. You move through it as part of your daily routine. The Garden District itself is where everything tightens up. This is the nature-centric, more connected phase of Wildlight. With the first homes expected around mid-2026, builders like Toll Brothers, David Weekley, Perry Homes, and Ashton Woods are all involved, which tells you this isn't a niche experiment. It's a series expansion with long-term weight behind it. But what actually changes life here isn't the builder list or the acreage. It's the way the district is designed to absorb daily needs: a future elementary school, a 53-acre community park, An oak hammock amenity center anchor the area. You got pool, fitness space, playgrounds, gear shed, places that create reasons to be out of the house instead of creating noise and chaos. You start seeing the same people on the trails, at parks, at drop off. That's how towns form: repetition, familiarity, and then overlap. There's a specific feeling this creates: mornings that involve walking or biking through shaded trails instead of loading into a car immediately, afternoons where kids can move independently without being shuttled everywhere, evenings where activity settles naturally because the layout supports it. It's active, but not frantic, social, but not forced. Now, real talk. This kind of scale brings questions. Growth always does. Traffic infrastructure, affordability. Nassau County is actively reviewing and phasing this out over time, which means things won't all land at once. Some amenities come early, others will come later. That's the trade-off of building a real place instead of a flash-in-the-pan neighborhood. You're buying into a vision that matures, not something that peaks at first. And that's why the Garden District matters in the Jacksonville story. As growth pushes north toward Yulee and beyond, this shows what smart expansion looks like. Density balanced with conservation, homes anchored by schools and parks, trails that connect instead of divide. It's not urban, it's not suburban sprawl either. It's something in between. And it works when it's done intentionally. Del Webb Flagler Beach exists for people who've realized something quietly powerful. At a certain point, the biggest upgrade isn't a bigger house. It's fewer moving parts in your day. Here's the scale behind that decision. This community is planned across roughly 505 acres with about 650 homes at full build-out. The first phase delivers around 223 homes with floor plans ranging from roughly 1,300 to 2,800 square feet. That sizing is intentional. Big enough to live comfortably, small enough that maintenance doesn't run your calendar. Nearly half the land is preserved for wetlands and natural areas, which matters more here than it sounds. Less pavement, more buffer, more quiet built into the environment. Distance plays a role too. You're about 3 miles from Flagler Beach, close enough to feel the coast without living inside a tourist cycle. That separation is key. You get ocean air, trails, and outdoor routines without your weekends being dictated by rentals, events, or seasonal traffic. The surrounding area is car dependent, and that's not being sugarcoated. But the trade-off is a clarity. When you leave the neighborhood, it's intentional. When you're home, everything you need is already there. Instead of building life around errands, Del Webb designs life around internal momentum. Shared spaces, activity programming, trails tied to the Leah Trail, and amenities that support health and social connection without requiring effort. You're not scheduling your life anymore. You're showing up to it. That difference hits harder than people expect. What also gets overlooked is timing. This community opens in late 2026, which puts it right in the path of a massive demographic shift across Northeast Florida. People aren't retiring earlier. They're just retiring differently, staying active longer, traveling more, downsizing friction instead of ambition. Del Webb is built for that moment, not the version of retirement people still picture. Now, honesty check. This isn't urban. It isn't walk everywhere living. If you thrive on constant stimulation, this will feel very slow. But for people who are ready to trade urgency for intention, this feels like control coming back into focus. Less noise, fewer obligations, more energy where it actually matters. Now let's talk about something a little more grounded and practical. Brittle Creek is a new community in Jacksonville built by D.R. Horton. It is currently selling. Located at 5445 Racehorse Boulevard, this development includes both single-family homes and townhomes, with townhome floor plans starting around 1,400 heated square feet. This is not positioned as a luxury enclave or a coastal destination. It is modern, efficient, new construction designed to give people a brand new home at an attainable entry point inside the city of Jacksonville. But here's where it gets more interesting. Brittle Creek includes shared community features such as a pool, a clubhouse, a playground, a dog park, splash pad, fitness area, and even pickleball courts. That adds a social layer to what otherwise would just be straightforward housing development. The homes themselves lean into D.R. Horton's typical modern finishes in energy-efficient construction. Smart home features, updated kitchens, and low-maintenance materials make it appealing to people who want to move in without renovation projects waiting for them. Location-wise, this community is positioned for convenience. With access to major roadways like I-10, I-295, and the First Coast Expressway, it connects reasonably well to other parts of Jacksonville. It also places you within driving distance of established areas like Riverside and Ortega, giving you access to parks, river views, and historic neighborhoods, but without paying the historic neighborhood prices. So what kind of lifestyle does this create? Brittle Creek feels like it fits most people who want new construction, they want amenities, and they want to stay inside Jacksonville without stretching into the higher price tiers. It makes sense for those who value practicality, layout, and convenience over high-end finishes or destination-style branding. It may not appeal to someone looking for custom architecture, beach access, or a heavily curated master-planned environment. And now we land in a completely different category. The 11 is not a master-planned community. It is not a subdivision. It is not a townhome project or a large-scale development. It is a limited collection of 11 luxury residences set within a 110-acre Congree and Penn property in Jacksonville. Congree and Penn is known for its agricultural operations, farm-to-table dining, and curated hospitality experience. The 11 is designed as a residential extension of that environment, and it is not separate from it. Plans call for just 11 homes set among acres of orchards, meadows, and open sky. That number is intentional. This is about scarcity and design integrity. It is not about scale. What makes this project essentially unique is the architectural vision behind it. The homes are described as drawing from Florida's agrarian and vernacular traditions. That idea is modern agrarian vernacular style. Think timeless silhouettes, deep porches, and open-air transitions in materials like wood, brick, and metal that feel connected to the land. It's practical, elegant, and enduring rather than flashy or trend-driven. The goal is for the homes to feel born from the landscape. That means agriculture that connects daily life to the outdoors, porches that extend living space, layouts that transition naturally between inside and outside, refined craftsmanship balanced within rustic materials, modern performance without losing authenticity. This is estate-style living, but grounded. It is not production housing. It is not suburban starter homes. It is not a dense luxury condo tower. It represents a rare opportunity to live within a preserved agricultural setting while still inside Jacksonville city limits. The 11 is carving out a lane that very few developments even attempt. Luxury that is restrained. Design that feels rooted. Homes that are meant to last. Here's what most people miss. These are not 8 random developments. They are 8 completely different versions of daily life. The same region, totally different rhythm. If you only look at price, square footage, or what looks impressive online, you will miss the real decision, because this is not about picking the nicest community. It is about avoiding the wrong trade-off. Every one of these neighborhoods trades something for something else. None of these are better. They're all just different bets. And here's where this gets real. If you hate driving for everything, certain communities will frustrate you quickly. If you want new construction and low maintenance, 2 or 3 of these clearly rise to the top. If privacy and architectural character matter more than amenities, one option stands alone. If long-term growth potential excites you more than move-in readiness, one project is built for that mindset. The mistake people make is choosing based on trend, price, or what worked in their last city. But Jacksonville is not one lifestyle. It's water-focused living, land-focused living, amenity-driven living, coastal luxury, estate privacy, entry-level practicality, and future-forward master planning, all happening at the same time. This city gives you room to choose, room to adjust, and room to build a life that actually fits. Everything you just saw proves that. Lagoon living, calm oceanfront, agri-hoods, thoughtful space, classic value, urban ownership. Jacksonville isn't one move, it's a menu. And when people take the time to pick intentionally, this place delivers in a big way. We see it happen all the time. Someone moves here excited, gets their footing, and once they line up their lifestyle with the right part of the city, everything just clicks. Commutes feel easier, weekends feel lighter. Home starts to feel like home. Same city, better fit. That's the power of alignment. My name is Andrew Michael, a local Jacksonville realtor and team leader, and our team helps people sort through these lifestyle trade-offs. It's what we do every single day. Whether you're moving across town, relocating from another state, or just trying to figure out what makes sense long term. We'll give you straight answers and real insight, but without the pressure. You can call, text, email, whatever works best for you. We would love to connect and help you make the right move for your situation. And if you're still deciding, don't stop here. I've put together other videos that break down the biggest mistakes people make when moving to Jacksonville. And honestly, they pair perfectly with what we just talked about. If you want to avoid choosing the wrong version of this city, those are the videos you should watch next. I'll see you in that video. Thanks for your time.